Most people think escalators are dangerous because when something goes wrong, it feels dramatic. There's a sudden jolt, the steps stop, people stumble, and the whole thing feels like it nearly collapsed. Viral videos make it look even worse, with people piling up and falling over each other. But here's the part most people don't realize. Escalators aren't dangerous because they fail. They're actually safe because of how they fail. Escalators are designed with one priority above everything else. Not speed, not convenience, safety. Specifically, they are designed to stop instead of continue moving when something isn't right. That sudden stop people hate so much is not a malfunction. It's the system doing exactly what it's supposed to do. An escalator is essentially a large mechanical loop made of hundreds of interlocked steps, all moving together at a constant speed. Underneath the visible steps is a complex system of chains, gears, motors, and brakes. Unlike elevators, escalators don't suspend people in the air. They carry weight along a fixed incline that's anchored into the building itself. That alone removes one of the biggest risks people imagine, which is falling from height. What really scares people is the idea that the steps might suddenly speed up, roll backward, or collapse. That fear comes from how escalators look, not how they work. The steps aren't free-floating. Each step is locked into a track system that guides it from top to bottom. Even if the motor stopped entirely, the steps can't suddenly detach and fall. They're physically constrained by the structure around them. One of the most important safety features in an escalator is its braking system. Escalators are equipped with multiple brakes, not just one. If the motor detects abnormal speed, resistance, or power irregularities, the brakes engage automatically. This is why escalators tend to stop abruptly instead of slowing down smoothly. The system prioritizes stopping motion over maintaining comfort. To a person standing on it, that sudden stop feels violent. But from a safety perspective, stopping immediately prevents something much worse. Continuing to move when something is wrong could cause steps to misalign, chains to slip, or people to lose balance in unpredictable ways. A controlled stop localizes the risk to a moment, rather than letting it spread. There are also sensors constantly monitoring the escalator. These sensors detect things like missing steps, misaligned steps, broken handrails, excessive load, or foreign objects caught in the mechanism. If anything falls outside safe parameters, the system shuts down. Again, not because it's broken, but because it's protecting people. This is why many escalator incidents involve people falling forward when it stops. The escalator didn't throw them. Their body was already leaning forward, expecting motion. When that motion stops instantly, their balance disappears. It feels like the escalator caused the fall, but in reality, it removed the motion their body was relying on. Another thing people misunderstand is the idea of escalators collapsing. When you see videos of steps appearing uneven or gaps opening briefly, it looks terrifying. But what's usually happening is a safety shutdown mid-cycle. Steps are designed to interlock tightly when moving, but during a sudden stop, tiny alignment changes can occur as tension is released. The structure itself remains intact. True mechanical failures where an escalator structurally collapses are extraordinarily rare. When they do happen, they almost always involve extreme neglect, unauthorized modifications, or severe maintenance failures. In normal operation, escalators are inspected regularly, tested under load, and built to exceed the weight they'll ever realistically carry. Ironically, many escalator injuries don't come from mechanical failure at all. They come from human behavior. Loose shoelaces, soft footwear, strollers, luggage wheels, distracted standing, and people crowding too closely together are far more common causes of injury than any internal failure of the machine. Escalators are designed with the assumption that people won't always behave perfectly. That's why the edges of the steps are ridged, why there are bright yellow demarcation lines, why handrails move at the same speed as the steps, and why emergency stop buttons are placed at both ends. All of these are layers of safety meant to compensate for human unpredictability. Those emergency stop buttons are another misunderstood feature. People often hesitate to press them, thinking they'll make things worse. But they're there for a reason. If someone falls, gets clothing caught, or drops something dangerous, stopping the escalator immediately prevents the situation from escalating. Again, stopping is safer than continuing. The reason escalator failures look scarier than elevator failures is perception. When an elevator stops suddenly, people feel relief. When an escalator stops suddenly, people feel betrayed. That's because we expect escalators to be simple, passive machines. We don't mentally prepare for them to react. But escalators are active systems. They are constantly adjusting, monitoring, and ready to shut down at the first sign of risk. That's why they often appear overly sensitive. They aren't fragile. They're cautious by design. There's also an important legal and regulatory layer behind this. Escalators operate under strict safety codes that require them to default to a safe state. In engineering terms, this is called fail-safe design. When something goes wrong, the system must fail in a way that minimizes harm. For escalators, that safe state is not movement, it's stillness. This same philosophy is used in trains, industrial machinery, and power systems. Motion is only allowed when conditions are confirmed to be safe. The moment safety can't be guaranteed, motion stops. So, when you see an escalator suddenly stop and people stumble, what you're actually seeing is a system choosing the least dangerous outcome available. A brief loss of balance is far safer than uncontrolled motion on a crowded incline. The reason viral escalator videos spread so easily is because they trigger a fear response. They look chaotic. But chaos doesn't mean collapse. It means humans reacting to a system doing exactly what it was designed to do. If escalators were designed to coast, slow gradually, or keep moving despite errors, incidents would be far worse. Small problems would compound into serious injuries. The abruptness people hate is the very thing that prevents larger disasters. In everyday use, escalators move thousands of people safely every day without incident. When something does go wrong, it's noticeable precisely because it's rare. And because the system prioritizes safety over comfort, it draws attention to itself when it intervenes. So the next time an escalator stops suddenly and your heart jumps for a second, remember this: it didn't fail you, it protected you. The discomfort is the price of a system that refuses to take chances with human safety. Escalators don't collapse when they break, they stop. And that's not a flaw. That's the design.